Hey, it's Mario here, and in this video you're going to learn how to eliminate distractions. So how do you design your digital environment to minimize distractions and maximize your productivity and focus? And in today's world, we know a lot of productive people, and if you're like me, you're probably envious of some of these people because they just seem to be getting so much more done. We often think that they're smarter, we think that they know some kind of hack, that they just have more skill than us, they're just better at the work, but in reality it's that these people are just less distracted. These people have less interruptions, and I bet that when you're in that flow state, when you're zoned in on a task, when you have that sense of urgency, you're much more effective at getting it done than you give yourself credit for. And in today's world, we're actually living in an environment where the environment is designed to rob us of our focus. And all these companies, they battle for our attention. They design apps, they design websites, they design technology to get our attention, to get us to do some kind of action that they want us to do. So we need to kind of take back that control over our time. And the first thing is really educating yourself about these distractions and thinking like, well, that's some kind of designer back there with that app that wants me to click on it, right? So it's the app that is just designed like that to get your attention. And that's something that we're gonna go over here, some of the science as well as some of the tools that I personally use to minimize distractions. So with this science, our attention span currently is about 8 seconds according to the latest study done on about 2,000 Canadians. Dropped from 12 seconds back in the 2000. So basically it's less than a goldfish. Goldfish has an attention span of about 9 seconds. So we officially beat the goldfish in that, which is not really something we should be proud of, as well as some other statistics that about 65% of the Americans sleep with their phone in the bed or somewhere next to the bed. So the phone is in the bedroom most of the time. And what does that mean? Well, first thing, you're gonna wake up in the morning, what are you gonna do? You're gonna check your phone. You're gonna fill up your head with all these news things, with all these distractions before you even start the day. And that's where you're the most focused. Then you're gonna get distracted immediately. So that's one thing that we're gonna talk about, how to eliminate that. Another piece of statistics that's very interesting is from the UK, where they looked at the employees, and when they receive an email, about 70% of them open that email within 6 seconds. That is insane. And every time they open the email on average, they need about 64 seconds to get back to work. So every single email gets you about a minute of distraction. And if you're like me, you're subscribed to a ton of email, you get a ton of email from people, and you can basically spend your whole day coping with this thing, right? So it's constantly being bombarded by these emails, by notifications, not even counting social media. So what are some of the tools that I personally use to combat this, to get my control back? So if we look at the first tool, it's something that I don't see a lot of people using. That is simply installing some kind of ad blocker in your web browser. And I don't see a lot of people doing this. And if you run an advertising agency, you probably hate me right now for telling people to install this. But it's usually a free tool. If you're using Google Chrome, if you're using Firefox or some kind of browser, have these extensions and these add-ons, and you can install these. I use the one called, I think, AdBlock Plus, which will just allow me to block all the ads on the web. I just get the content, I just don't get any ads on YouTube, no ads anywhere in the web. And it helps so much to be able to focus on the content. When I'm doing research, I don't really have to worry about advertisement. And I see a lot of people wasting their time. And one ad goes to some piece of content that someone else wants you to read, that leads to something else. You lose like 30 minutes of your time browsing something that you didn't have an intention to do in the first place. The second thing is modifying your social media to have less distractions. So specifically Facebook. With Facebook, I have two add-ons that I use for my browser. One is called the Newsfeed Eradicator. Basically, eradicates the newsfeed. There is no newsfeed on the side. There's just one quote that you get, like an inspirational quote. And the second one is called Facebook Purity. So the Facebook Purity one is basically eliminates all notifications for friend requests, all notifications for these pop-ups, and someone tagged you in a photo, someone commented on your stuff. All of this is amazing for making Facebook a tool that you can actually use without being distracted, because I love Facebook. I spend so much time on it to connect with my friends, to basically learn more, and to follow people that I really want to follow. And often, I'm just getting distracted. If I open the newsfeed, that's just 45 minutes gone. I'm just gonna be browsing, and it's gonna be very compelling to click on some of these articles, BuzzFeed or whatever, and time is gone. I just don't have any more time, and I just lost an hour basically. So this thing is amazing. I've done this back in 2013, and ever since then I have these extensions installed. No more newsfeed. It's such a relief to have this. The next tool that I would say really helped me a lot is configuring my phone to have less distractions from it, right? So the number one thing with your phone that you want to do is put it on a silent. If you have a phone that you need for work, get a different phone, use that for work, but put the normal phone, your personal phone, on silent mode. I keep mine on silent 365 days of the year. If there's a true emergency, I mean, if I'm expecting something, if I'm really expecting a call, I'm gonna put it on vibrate, but most of the time it's gonna be on silent. I'm not gonna get any sound. I got this phone about half a year ago. The phone hasn't made a single sound till today, right? So it never makes a sound. And it's such a relief because I see people getting triggered by their phones non-stop all the time. These notifications, these little sounds coming when you get a message, when someone mentions you, when someone comments on your stuff. And not only did I eliminate that, but I also removed all the push notifications from all the social media apps. So if you tag me in a photo, if you do anything, if you send me an email, I will not get a notification. I have to enter the app to actually receive that notification. A great trick that I got from James Clear, actually, it's a really good one, is to move those social media apps from the home screen to the second screen of your phone. So you don't even get access to them on the home screen, you don't have any notifications on the home screen, and you have them in a folder on the second screen. So if you really want to check your Instagram, you can do so by entering that folder. It just takes a couple extra steps, and you would be surprised how often you just unlock your phone and there's no Instagram, you just lock it back. But when there is Instagram, you just go in it and you just wasted 15 minutes because you just automatically enter the app and just gets you distracted. And with this thing, you just add a little bit more friction to getting distracted, and it really helps a lot. You would be surprised how this simple change can make so much more difference. And you put the productive stuff on the home screen, like Evernote, like FitNotes for tracking your gym workouts, MyFitnessPal for tracking your food. You would be surprised how many people would track their food more if they just had the MyFitnessPal right on their home screen in their phone. It is crazy how this small environmental shift, like design in your phone, can make so much of a difference, especially that push notification elimination. That is huge. Next thing I want to mention here is that some people like to use this. I haven't used it a lot in the past, is just setting certain websites to not be available for a part of the day. So blocking out time where you can't access Facebook, you can't go on Instagram, you can't go on CNN or ESPN or Reddit or wherever your place is where you spend most of your time, and maybe BuzzFeed or torrent sites or whatever. So you just set a block for that time of the day where you can't access those sites. So there's apps I think called Freedom or something like that, where you can just install this and you simply can't access it, and you give a password to your friend. And you would be surprised how often you get tempted to do that, how often you get that temptation to check, and you just type in the website, oh shit, it doesn't work. It is insane how many triggers we've just trained ourselves into that are robbing us of our time, of our focus, of distracting us. We're basically avoiding to do real work. And this is a huge help. And I know a lot of people actually take this to the next level as well, where they add the Pomodoro technique, where you just time block things with an alarm, and they just set a timer for about 45 minutes or 30 minutes, even 20, I think some use. And in that period of time, you can only work. If you don't work, it's fine. You can just not do anything, but you have to just work or not do anything. So you have no other option. What this does is actually that boredom forces you to do work. And I've seen people who had a lot of success with the Pomodoro. You want to give it a shot. I mean, go for it. I think it's a really good thing to try out. I personally like to time block things in my Google Calendar, so I like to give it that kind of structure, but I mean, whatever works for you. All of these tips here that I just mentioned really serve the purpose of raising awareness, and the second thing is getting back some of that control over your time, because the digital environment, whether we like it or not, is going in a direction where they're just going to bombard us with more and more things to take our attention, to take our focus away, to make us do some kind of action that someone else wants us to do. Someone in that lab that is programming the app, you know, he's like, oh, if I had this hot trigger when the person unlocks their phone, I can get them to take action, I can get them to this product, and I can get them to spend more money, all these things. I mean, that's how the world works. And what we can do is basically just be aware of this and design the environment, take control back. I mean, all these apps, you can eliminate the notifications. That is optional. That is not there. I mean, it is on by default, but it is your choice. You can take control back. And that is exactly what I made this video for, is to give you some tools as well as to open your mind a little bit, because I know there's many other tools. I'm sure you can think of 5-10 other different things, like you can leave your phone in airplane mode in a different room if you're just working. Things like just shutting off your phone an hour before bed just to not get that blue light, so you can get some melatonin production, get some better sleep, become more focused the next day, wake up earlier. I mean, all these things can do so many things, but the point is to become aware that something is taking your time and that is robbing you of your productivity. It's not that you need some kind of next hack or whatever, it's just that you need to be distracted less, and that is really the truth. And that is from my observation, my own productivity, and from working with a lot of people. I've seen that just by eliminating distractions, productivity just skyrockets. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for more of these kind of distraction eliminators, if you use something that I haven't mentioned. So let me know in the comments below, share with the community. Aside from that, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.